All right, so we just finished Parasha Vayisgash, and there are really a very important lesson I think that we can learn from it, and relevant to today, the Jews today in America, in exile, Jews who are not in Israel, and even Jews in Israel. As we know, the Torah applies to every generation, and we just have to learn how to read the message for every generation. This is how God made the Torah in a way that is eternal, and we have to figure out from the code, we have to decode the Torah in the proper way, and which is the job of the Jewish people, and to get the insights on how to deal with the day-to-day challenges and know how to move forward. So we know there's a lot of anti-Semitism, and it's becoming more and more, say, common, unfortunately. But let's try to understand from the Parasha. So what's happening is that we have these challenges between the two brothers, the two sets of brothers, where you have Yosef on one side and you have Yehuda and the brothers on the other side. And the question is, why? What it had to be? What it had to end up like that? That you had those two parts, those two groups that split. What was the split, and what was the argument between both groups, both sides? And we have to understand that if we try to understand what is the source of this fight between the two brothers, first of all, if we're going really to the root, then who were the two brothers who trying to kill each other, who argue with each other? It goes all the way back to Cain and Hevel in Gan Eden. So it started with Cain and Hevel, or you say after Gan Eden, depending on the opinion, whether it was before or after the sin. But Cain and Hevel were two brothers, and there was an opinion. The opinion originated there. So technically, we can just study Cain and Hevel and understand what happened with Yehuda and the brothers. And we see that, again, there was jealousy. Cain was jealous of Hevel, who had been chosen by Hashem. And really, the root problem is that each one Cain didn't understand the greatness of his avodah, on his own mission, and he got stuck with the fact that his brother got accepted and chosen by Hashem from the korban, the offering, but there was a lack of understanding each one's mission. Cain was the most physical one. Cain corresponded to Esav, and Hevel corresponded to Yosef. So really what's happening is that Yosef and the brothers, or let's start with Yaakov and Esav, were the tikkun of Cain and Hevel. One deals more with the physical, with like Cain was working the earth. Esav was supposed to deal with the material aspect of the world, and he was the brother of Yaakov, who was supposed to deal with the more spiritual aspect. And Hevel was more. Hevel means vanity, meaning it's the vanity of this world. It was not connected to the vanity of this world, so to speak. It was connected to what's really more spiritual. And the work for the physical world is harder. It's a harder challenge, indeed. So what's happening is that the split between the brothers had to happen, because what happened is that Yaakov and Rachel not Yaakov, Yitzchak had those two children, Yitzchak and Rivka, had those two children in her, and there was already there a double personality, and Yaakov took upon himself the mission of Esav. Hakol kol Yaakov v'yedei Esav. The voice is the voice of Yaakov, and the voice is the voice of Yaakov, and the hands of Esav. So really, what's happening is that Yaakov took upon himself that mission, and now he had a double personality in him. Yaakov represents now those two parts, spiritual and physical. So what's happening is that the spiritual aspect of Yaakov, why did Yaakov love Yosef? He loved Yosef because Yaakov was Ish Yosef Ohalim, is the man of the tent. Yaakov was supposed to be more of the spiritual aspect, learn in the tent, and he loved Yosef because Yosef was the one actually who learned. He was the one representing Yaakov. And then the brothers came from Esav, were the more physical aspect, dealing with life, business, shepherds, and that's why Yaakov loved Yosef more. I don't know if he loved him more, but he definitely had more focus on Yosef because he saw Yosef as the step necessary to bring the redemption before the other brothers. So that's why we have two steps also, Moshe ben Yosef, Moshe ben David. Moshe ben Yosef is the importance of understanding that the Torah, the purity and the holiness of the Torah, of those who learn Torah, on the purity of the tzaddik is one's going to keep Israel throughout his history, throughout exile, and keep them strong in exile no matter what. Yosef is standing strong, he's able to withstand anything. And the brothers are going to be the second part with Yehuda, where you have David, Moshe ben David, the final king, Moshiach, Messiah, is going to come from Yehuda. So we now have those two steps. So the two, they were fighting with each other because each one understood that the process was supposed to be this way or this way. Not that taking care of the physical world is more important. Being involved with the rebuilding of the land and business and being a Kiddush Hashem in the physical world, and that takes priority. And then Yosef was saying, no, the priority is the spiritual, learning Torah and all that. Yeshivot, and we see today we have that same problem. The people, say no, it's better to be, to have an army and a land and a more physical aspect. And they have those who say no, you have to learn Torah all day. That's the most important. So we have to understand that they're both right, and neither are right either. They are both necessary, and they are a two-step process. But because one didn't understand the uniqueness of the other, the Yehuda and the brother didn't understand the dreams of Yosef, and Yosef lacked respect for the mission of Yehuda and the brothers. They disrespect each other. And I'm going to ask you a question. If you have, I'll tell you, I have my Siddur. So on one hand, I have my Siddur, and on the other hand, I have my shotgun. So I have my shotgun on one hand, right? And then my Siddur on the other. If I need to defend myself, which one is more important? Which one is more important? What do I choose? Well, if we want to do the right choice, we need both. What was David HaMelech? David HaMelech was someone who, on one hand, he was saying Tehillim, and he was connected to God, and he was learning. Wherever he went, he prayed to God. And wherever he went, he had his sword, and he will fight. And his hands were bloody. So we need both. It goes together. Not just one, not just the Siddur, and not just the guns. So we need to use both, understand that both are necessary. And today we have to understand, I need the yeshiva, I need the Talmid Chacham, I need the one who learns, I need the holiness, I need to learn and pray, and I need to build the land, I need to move to Israel, I need to rebuild the land of Israel, I need to be involved in business and be a Kiddush Hashem. I need to have physical strength as much as spiritual strength. Now both are necessary. It's Vayisgash. Vayisgash is the coming of the both together. We need to realize that I have been disrespecting the other side. I've been disrespecting the Yosefs, the tzaddikim. Obviously we're speaking of the real tzaddikim, not the ones who are not the tzaddikim. But we know that the root of usually the problem of the tzaddik, of the rabbis, or the one who learn Torah today, is that they usually disrespect the ones who are not learning Torah or so much, who are not a little bit ignorant of Torah. And that's wrong. That's not the right approach. Because of Yosef, they all went into exile. It started with Yosef speaking Lashon Hara about them. So if you have a Rosh Yeshiva or a rabbi who says, "Oh, the army, yeah, the soldiers, terrible, Chilonis, Zionists, the ones in the land of Israel, the businessman," if you disrespect them, you speak Lashon Hara about them, then you're going to be sent into exile, and you're going to have to suffer exile with them until you realize that you misunderstand the whole thing. And Yehuda and the brothers also are accountable. They disrespected because of that also. They hated him even more. But beside that, they misunderstood the power of Torah, the power of the tzaddik, the power of the rabbi, the importance of learning Torah and going to yeshiva, all that. So from both sides, they have to unite. From both sides, you have to love each other. From both sides, we need to understand the importance of the physical and the importance of the spiritual. And now we are at the end of time, Vayisgash, when Yehuda and Yosef reveal to each other, they realized God's plan, that really the soldiers need to be together with the Rosh Yeshiva or the Yeshiva Bachur, and they need to unite to fight the enemy. And we need to get ready. Because now things are going to be tougher and tougher until we really understand that message, until the Jews get united. And we have to work on our respect for the other side, even if it doesn't go to our understanding. We don't have the full understanding. The Yehuda and the brothers, they were very smart. They are not stupid, chas v'shalom, and but they still didn't see Yosef's greatness and what was unique about Yosef. And Yosef also didn't see the greatness of his brothers, even though he was Talmid Chacham, so to speak, the tzaddik. He was a tzaddik and still didn't understand the brothers in the right way and spoke bad about them. So, Kol v'chomer for us, all the more so, we have to really realize that we have a big tikkun to make, we have to fix. We're still fighting from brothers to brothers. We read the story of Yosef and the brothers, and we still continue to do the same thing, speaking bad about the others. This one is like this one like that. So we have to fix that, and we have to work. And in our everyday life today, because of all the anti-Semitism, everything that's happening, if we really want to be more safe, first of all, we have to strengthen our emunah, our love of God. We can't be afraid. If the things might get worse, chas v'shalom, and if they get worse, we need to increase our physical strength and our spiritual strength. Yaakov, when he was prepared to meet with Esav, he davened, and he got ready to prepare to fight. So, what do? We get healthy, we get pumped up, we go work at the gym, or we take, more important, we take Krav Maga lessons or Jiu-Jitsu or whatever physical thing. We get guns, learn how to shoot, to protect your family in the home or in the events where we go. We learn, we get ready physically, we put cameras, security, and on the other side, we become stronger in Torah. We need to learn more Torah. We need to pray more, and we get ready to be close to Hashem, so that anything that happens, it's the Ashgacha Pratis, and we're connected to Hashem on that level. So if we do both, then we're able to unite Moshe ben Yosef, Moshe ben David, and that was unique about David, because David is Malchus, is the unity of the two, and David was the perfect balance, where he had the sword on one side and the prayer, the connection on the other side. We have to understand that now we're coming at the end of Galus. We have 220 years max before the end of our spiritual exile, physical and spiritual exile, and then the shift is happening now. It's going to be for us, for our kids, but if we want to be able to withstand the wave that's going to come, we need to work not only on the love of each other. This we know already. We keep repeating it, but it doesn't look like it's helping. But we need to understand, we need to have now a love for the land of Israel. We need to start understanding that without living in Israel, without the understanding that we cannot be a Jewish nation, we cannot really be strong without being all in Eretz Israel, the Jewish people being in Eretz Israel, it's not going to work. You are a Jew. If you're a Jew, you need to dream and prepare and want to go to Eretz Israel. Yes, it's hard. Going to Eretz Israel is always hard. It comes with difficulties, and that's the price to pay. But who do you really want to be? If you really want to be a true Jew, you have to, even if you cannot go right now, but you have at least to dream of going there. You have to want to be there. You desire being there, and you get prepared, understanding that being in the land of Israel, your strength, your soul is so much more powerful. The understanding that you will have in learning Torah is so much greater. And the Israel is like the central of command. It's like, the commando base to be a light into the nation. And the Torah will come from Zion, right? It's all in the prophets. That's where we all belong. And being outside of the land of Israel, it says it's like you're a non-Jew on a spiritual level. That's what the Talmud says. A Jew is like a non-Jew when he's outside the land. Why? Because he cannot fully be a Jew here. He cannot fully fulfill his purpose as a Jew. So we all have to start planning, even if it's 10 years or 15 years, but start planning to go to Israel. Start planning, you start desiring, start understanding the power of the land, loving the land of Israel, and understanding the mission of the Jewish people in the world. We are here to inspire the non-Jews. We're here to be a society, role model society that will inspire everyone to be close to God and give wisdom and guidance to the whole world. So keep those words to heart. Today I speak to so many Jews outside the land. They're in Europe. A lot want to move, but I speak to so many Jews in America, and they're not interested in moving. I'm good here. I'm a happy Jew. I learn Shas. I go to yeshiva every day. Everything is beautiful. Great job. Yeah, welcome to Galus. Happy like a Jew in Galus, says one of my rabbis. It's not good. It says you're going to be satiated, you're going to come in the land, and everything's going to be beautiful, and you're going to start having positions, and you're going to have Torah on that. And today, like never before, so much freedom of religion. But Hashem says, you're getting installed. You're doing the same thing that you did in Germany. You did the same thing that you did again and again in every generation in history. And we know it doesn't last more than 100 years usually. And then people start attacking us because, yes, it's your fault, you Jews, because you're not taking your responsibility, your position in the land. Why do the non-Jews have a natural thing that they don't want Jew here? Because it's true, we don't belong here. It doesn't mean that it's right, they do it the right way, it's the right thing. But for us, our message is, you don't belong here. You belong all in Israel. And if most of the Jews were in Israel already, we'll have brought the Geula much faster, in my opinion. Once more than half of the Jews are in Israel, it's already, a step much closer to redemption and Moshiach. So we have to realize that the message we keep getting is, go back to your country. You're too comfortable here. You don't belong here, and we don't belong here. So we have technically, as Jews, to understand that we need to move to Israel as soon as we can. And if it's hard, then you try again and again, or you plan and you prepare, but at least you get ready for the redemption, for your mission. Obviously, some people are more responsible here to guide and inspire and to survive until the people go back to Israel. But we cannot have plans to go to Israel. No, I don't want to go to Israel. I'm happy here. Yeah, of course you're happy here. It's Galus. So it requires effort, and it's hard to live in Israel with the culture and all that. And you have to go at the right time, because if you bring your kids at the wrong time, also But you have got to calculate that. You have to plan. You have to speak to your rabbi. When should I go? When's the right time to go? When speak to your wife, your spouse, and make the decision. And only then can you be more safe. You want to be safe in Galus, you got to act as a Galus person. Because if you don't act like a Galus person, that you're just like that, and rely on whatever your bank account or your Tehillim, it's not going to be enough. You need to, or your gun, it's not enough. You gotta get ready for the change that is about to happen. And Bezat Hashem, if we are aware of that and we work on our love for the land of Israel, for the Jewish people, and for our brother Jew, no matter what, and learn to respect also the non-Jews and their own unique mission, we have to understand that everything that's happening within the Jewish people is a reflection of what's happening in the world. And if within us, the Jewish people, we don't respect another, then you can imagine why wouldn't the non-Jews respect us. Let's remember that Esav represents the part of the work of the non-Jews, the 70 nations, and we represent the part of, so the Jews were supposed to be the spiritual one, so the Jews are like Yosef, and the brothers, Yehuda and the brothers, as like the non-Jews, and we were supposed to work together, and the Jews take care of the spiritual aspect, and non-Jews have the more materialistic aspect, and both have great mission. We know Yehuda comes, right? Moshiach comes from that, and at the end we have to understand that the same problem, the micro problem that we have within Jewish people, is a reflection of the macro problem happening in all over the world between the Jews. So the Jews have that nice code. We look like, we are holy, religious, and but we disrespect the non-Jews. We speak bad about them and all that, and that's completely wrong. That sends us into galus, into exile, and we're going to punish for that. And the nation also don't always treat us well, and that's like Yehuda and the brothers who, attacked Yosef and wanted to sell it. And the nations just want to sell us. There, go in this country. We don't need you for the redemption. So that's another aspect. So we are like the Yosef among the nations, among the brothers. And we have to understand that what our place is, our role, and recognize God's plan, like Yosef. Realize that it's all God's plan, the galus and all that's God's plans. And we were put in galus to inspire the people, the brothers, to come close to God. But then there's a time to move. There's a time to go back to Israel, which is a good question. Why didn't once Yaakov passed away and Yosef, their brothers, why didn't once the famine was finished, why didn't it move right away? Yaakov was promised by God because he was afraid to leave before into going to Egypt to meet Yosef, but Hashem promised him that he will come out. But he came out through an exile, through a galus, through the 10 plagues of Egypt, and we had a lot of suffering before. So if we don't want a bloodbath, we happened in all the exiles, then we have to really start thinking deeper about going to Israel and accepting the other side, loving the other uniqueness of the Jewish people. And Bezat Hashem, if we do that, then we'll be able to do it with the non-Jews too, and we'll bring Moshiach, Bezat Hashem. We'll have Moshiach coming easily and salute us for give us a congratulate us for our work, and Bezat Hashem, hopefully we'll be able to go into all in Israel with honor and pride, and not by running away. That's really what my prayer is, and I hope we can do that. So make sure you learn more Torah, make sure you go, you pray, and make sure you learn Krav Maga, get self-defense, make sure you work on learning about what's so special about living in Israel, what's unique about living in Israel, and make sure you learn to appreciate all the different type of Jews that are there, that are opposite you, that are different than you. Try to find what's unique about them. And if we do all that work, Bezat Hashem, we're bringing a tikkun like never before. Have an almost awesome, amazing week.